everybody, play a core? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I've thought about it. We're going to go deep. We're going to try to get a lot of guys minutes. At the same time, we're going to be aggressive with playing our main guys, and being real competitive. When you ease into a preseason and a set of preseason games, the tendency is to ease into the regular season. We want to avoid that.
Has anybody been ruled out?
Tice is going to be out. We're being mindful of the long run he had in Eurobasket and the wear and tear. So we're gonna ramp him up slowly, probably over the next couple of weeks, and have him hopefully ready to go by the beginning of the season. But no major issues or anything. It's just we're gonna be careful with him. We value him a lot, and I've had experience with guys coming off Eurobasket and different FIBA things. It's emotional. It's a long grind, and there's both a physical and mental element to it. So we're gonna be cautious with him.
What will you be looking for tomorrow? What constitutes a successful preseason game?
Well, it's just on the eye test, it's just consistent hard play. Obviously, we spent a lot of time on our defense. Charlotte's a team that's been a dynamic offensive team, so it's a great test. But we want to be a deep attacking team, and we want to have fun competing our ass off. I mean, you get a team like this with this kind of exciting youth and a mixture of really solid veterans that complement them. We want to make this fun, as well as really going hard, playing to exhaustion and playing to win.
This wraps up basically the only week of the year that you have a week of practice with no games. How do you describe the improvements in basically the entire week?
Everybody standing here right now around the league is talking about all the positives that are coming out of camp. We've got to take everything that we've really worked on here and convert it into 2 tough preseason games. I mean, at Charlotte, at New York, 2 different styles of teams, but 2 very effective styles. I mean, we lost all 4 games to Charlotte last year, and New York is always a grind to play. So these will be 2 good tests for us.
About the young guys from facing opponents.
We'll learn plenty. But look, everybody's going to be watching, Ben and Nimhard and Brown when he gets in there, and Isaiah and Chris are now in year 2, and Neesmith's had a really nice camp. So these guys are all anxious to get out there and play.
You talked about their offense a little bit. Is there anything specific about Charlotte that's good for you guys in your first tune-up before the season?
Well, what's good is that they can really score. I mean, their first game against Boston, I know that the score was lopsided, but Hayward didn't play. They may have 1 or 2 other guys out. So look, they'll be amped up for the second game, and we're gonna have to be ready. But Charlotte is a really flowing, skilled team that makes shots, and they attack the rim and all that stuff. And Ball is a great creator, and they got other guy like Rozier. You got to stay on him, or else he can get going. And so, yeah, I mean, these games are both a great test. They're coming at the right time because it's time to get out of here and go play somebody else.
How helpful are preseason games for you specifically as a coach in terms of experimenting, getting a first look at these guys, and kind of setting a baseline for what you feel about the team?
Yeah, there's the opportunity to look at lineups, to tweak things. I mean, the creative lineup stuff is more likely to come later on in preseason, than maybe perhaps the first 2 games. First 2 games, we've got groups that have been working together. We'll likely play them together pretty significantly, but anything's on the table. when it comes down to it.
Is it kind of building on the defense and maybe establishing team chemistry?
Yeah,
These
yeah.
first few games can be
Definitely.
about.
Chemistry is something that's important, obviously, but I think it's one of the things where, you get out there, let the chips fall where they may. I don't think we put a whole lot of pressure on ourselves the first game especially. We go out there, go against some fresh bodies as opposed to going against ourselves and just competing.
How have you felt about the defensive growth of this group throughout camp so far?
I think there's some areas of improvement, or areas we need to improve in. But like I said, we'll be able to take away everything from the first game when we get some real competition.
You mentioned you've seen some second-year guys step forward and take a leap this year. Who specifically, and where have you seen them grow?
I love what TC's doing, man. I think he's really taking that next step as far as just knowing where to be on the floor. He's always had a good feel for the game, and I think he had a really good summer. His work is out here showing. Chris looks really good. I think him playing FIBA this summer, or playing the Dominican, playing a Dominican team this summer was really big for him. He's a lot more patient. He's a lot more poised. He's making really good reads, so I'm happy what he's doing. And then those two really stuck out the most, I would say. Zay is obviously he's playing well, but I'd say those two ones stuck out to me the most.
How are you personally feeling physically and mentally heading into the first game?
I feel great. I'm just ready to play, man. I think there's not really much in year 8. There's not really much you haven't seen in a sense, right? It's just a matter of getting out there and playing.
What do you personally want to get out of this? Is there anything you want to?
I just want to play, man. I just want to play, honestly. There's really not much to take away. Go out there, see where I'm at, get myself back in the right, necessary shape, and just hoop.
What's this new tattoo?
Oh, this one right here, just ascension, man. That's just to me, this means ascension. I think I'm at a point in my life now where I'm just rising, and I've always kind of liked the whole notion of space and outer space and whatnot. So it all kind of came together to me. But I think the biggest notion of it is just ascension.
When did you get that?
Did I don't know. Sure, sometime in the summer. Yeah.
Myles, at what point in the summer after the injury did you feel like, okay, now I'm ready to go? After you rehabbed and all that, at what point in the summer did you feel 100%? I'm just curious.
That's a good question. I think it really just when I got here, I would say, I didn't really play a whole bunch of pickup, or I didn't really go and do too much basketball stuff outside of one-on-one stuff, or just working with my trainers. So I think when I got here, the first couple of days of getting up and down, I just felt good. I just felt ready to go, and I think it's something about being back in Indiana, being back in the gym, being back in this environment that just brought it out as well. So I was I guess here.
Anything you're hoping to establish with Tyrese tomorrow, putting together for the first time?
Just building on the synergy we've been building, the past this week and a half now. I think that, you can do so much in practice, but once you're out in the game, you have real competition, real action. That's where you really take everything away from. So just going out there and playing with him tomorrow is what's show me a lot.
What are you kind of looking forward to most, maybe over the next couple of games?
Competing against different people. I get annoyed with TJ in my face all the time, so just looking forward to playing against other people. Coming together as a team and playing with other groups. We've been mixing it up in practice a little bit, but in games and the flows of rotations, foul trouble, maybe in the preseason, you're gonna play with some different guys that you haven't played with much in practice. So I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think this team can get out of playing against other people?
I think as young team, me and myself have been part of 2 young teams in the NBA. I think it's common that you compete really hard against each other in practice, and that can dwindle off when you're competing against other teams, which is weird to say, but it's I think that holds true for a lot of young teams. So as long as our competition level is the right way, we continue that throughout the rest of the preseason as we get into the season. That's important. So just hoping that the same fire and intensity we bring in practice on the floor, tomorrow as well.
Why do you think that is, that it can dwindle off?
I don't know. I think you're just comfortable with guys, right? And you're competing for rotation spots and whatever it is, you get comfortable and you get used to competing because you're playing against each other all summer and stuff like that. So it's easy to fall into not competing on a nightly basis, which is weird. But I think it is true of me being with 2 young teams. So I just hope we're going about things the right way, and I know we are because we just got a lot of guys who are about the right things, and vets keeping us on our toes, and a great staff. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Do you see this preseason as a chance to maybe build the chemistry you weren't able to as much last year since you came in the middle of the season?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Just kind of reading guys, getting to know what they like, right? I was talking to guys like, what's your favorite set for you to get the ball, where you feel like you're a decision maker, things like that. Just kind of reading guys and what they like. So, it's definitely important, kind of experiment with things in the preseason and, as we get into the real stuff.
Best and worst part about having to go against TJ every day in practice?
Best part is I'm probably, no matter where I am, I probably wouldn't see a guy in practice that's going to push me as hard as him. I think he pushes me really hard to, compete on both sides of the ball, make me stay honest. But also it's a mental challenge too, right? Because a guy like him, how hard he plays at all times, right? You're not going to see that on a daily basis. So competing against that's good. Worst part is he'll get the best of you sometimes and he'll let you know. So that's definitely the worst part.
How helpful can preseason be for young guys and rookies specifically who haven't had that sort of game experience?
Yeah, I think it's just getting the routine down, right? Like what your day's going to look like. Obviously, we're on the road, so figuring out when's your pregame nap, when are certain things, what time do you shoot before the game, how's your treatment schedule look, that stuff. Just routine, I think, is important. And then as we get into coming home, how's your routine at home, what time do you eat, what time do you go to the gym, things like that. So I think it's important, and it'll be good. It'll be a good test for young guys just to see, how they stack again. Like for me, it was really important for me my rookie year to play in the preseason against like Portland, right? I played against Dame and TJ in my first game, and I was like kind of starstruck, to be honest, a little bit. But you get over it quick, and as you get in the season, you use time to go right away. So I think it's important for guys to go through that.
You talked about figuring out guys' favorite sets, how to get the ball in the right spot. How does game action compare to these practices in terms of figuring out that stuff with new teammates and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's obviously different because when you're running sets in practice, they know, the defense knows the set, right? They know you run a certain action, they know what to look for, who the cutters are. In a game, you got to make sure you pay attention to the scout report before. And we walk through only a certain amount of sets, and the rest of them are reads. So then it's just kind of figuring out how to play. So I think that is a big difference. Is the defense, doesn't really know what to expect coming towards them. So I think that's important.
What are you looking forward to about playing with Myles for the first time?
Yeah, I think a lot of different things. Kind of just experimenting with things we've been working on all camp. I think defensively, he gives you more confidence with him being behind you to get into the ball. Because obviously, he's the best shot blocker in the NBA. So, when you have a guy like that behind you, it gives you more confidence to get into the ball and create pressure. You guys know I like to play in passing lanes and go for steals and things like that. You can do that with a guy behind you and with with other guys around you who know tendencies and things like that. So I'm just excited.
Has there been a player or two that has impressed you in this first week?
I think a lot of guys, but I would probably say like Terry Taylor has been really good for us. I've been praising Andrew Nemhard since camp, and I think O'Shea's looked good. James Johnson's looked elite. Great. But for real, I think having guys like him and LG and TJ and Myles as our vets with so many young guys is important. Guys who've been around winning programs, winning cultures. I said programs like we're in college, but winning organizations. So I think it's important that those are around you to build the right, tendencies and things like that.
First of all, this is the first time we've talked to you. How's this first week of camp gone for you?
Man, it went great. It's been going great. The energy in the gym. You got guys that are really locked in, wanting to learn. You don't have to go over too many things with these guys too many times. They kind of, the first time you tell them, they get it. And, that's something that I haven't seen in a lot of places.
What is some of the advice you've given the young guys here?
Just that every day is not given. Your spot's not, the minute's not, nothing is in permanent stone. You gotta bring it every day in practice. You gotta really lock in, and don't be an energy drainer. Someone's making good shots, making good plays. Cheer for that, man. I really mean it.
I think you're the oldest guy on this team right now. How is your experience going to help you guide this team and be a leader?
We got great leaders already. Tyrese is a great leader. MT is a great leader. I'm just got their back on anything they got going on, man. So what I see right now has been good for the program.
You played for Rick and a lot of his staff before. How does him coaching kind of a younger, long-term project team compare to how he and his group was in Dallas that year?
I mean, Rick's a legend, and he's not going to let no one settle. And that's a big thing that, a lot of people in this league don't have that kind of coaching where someone's going to get on you from the top guy to the bottom guy, and you hold people to a standards, and
I think that's huge, and the schedule he has us on and the things that we've been accomplishing and doing is because of how we're locked in little chunks of time we're getting.
Where do you see yourself helping this team on the court specifically this year?
I'm just here to serve. You know, I don't know where I see myself helping this team. All I know is I'm gonna do whatever's asked of me.
I think this is year 14 for you. So what keeps you motivated?
It's basketball. I love the game. It's bigger than the job for me, and like I said, I don't take it for granted.
What stands out to you about Tyrese being a young leader on this team?
He's vocal. He knows what he's doing. He's not just saying you got to do this or you got to be here. He's really in tune. His IQ is really high, and it makes it easy for young guys to listen to him. When they know that he's in the right spot and he's going to do what he said he's doing.
Played for a lot of teams. Have you ever seen a guy that young take on that sort of responsibility?
Yeah, I got drafted to Chicago, so it kind of reminds me of how D Rose was.